Hello, my friends. Please take a few moments to get yourself comfortable for our practice. Shake out the body or do any gentle movements that will allow you to come into a place where you can stay relatively still for about a half an hour. So any wiggling, any stretching, any shaking. And then as you create your yoga nidra nest, be mindful of supporting the head, the low back, pillows under the head, under the knees, covering the body. I do recommend an eye pillow. You can also put on essential oils or soft music or anything that will really allow you to drop into this space. This is such a gift that we offer to ourselves when we carve out time for this practice to tune into the energy of the month that we are in and to align with nature, to align with the universe, and also to align with ourselves. And where we find ourselves right now is the element of fixed water and fixed earth, with the new moon this month in fixed water and the full moon in fixed earth. And the fixed energies of the elements hold the middle of the season. So we're kind of right in the middle between the September equinox and the December solstice. We are holding the middle of this season, so the middle of fall in the northern hemisphere and the middle of spring in the southern. And as I was considering the energies of this month all around us and within, I was remembering how a teacher of mine often considered this energy to be the one of the compost. So I'm not a gardener, so forgive me if this language isn't entirely accurate, but I did very briefly several years ago take a composting class and attempt to start to work with compost, because compost is one of our natural fertilities that we can offer to the earth, to the soil. And it's relatively simple. You basically take green matter and brown matter, so like leaves and sticks or certain kinds of food, fruits and vegetables, basically our trash, right? Like the things that we're not using, the things we throw away from taking care of the yard or making meals. And you kind of put them all together. And at certain points you add water and you stir them, but ultimately you just let them sit in the dark with the right combination of earth and water and a periodic stirring. And then what happens over time is the miracle of decomposition. And suddenly this trash, these leavings, these sort of separate organic materials become one. They become this really rich, fertile soil, and even this compost tea in certain gardens, you can kind of draw that out, and it is so potent for the soil. The December solstice is the point of planting seeds for the year ahead. And so where we are right now is that the leaves or the harvest has passed, right? We've taken what we need, and now we're sort of holding this gestational space and deciding what we want to plant at the solstice. And in order to plant those seeds with as much success as possible, we want to tend the soil. And so right now is this process of letting all the matter that has fallen away over the past 11 months, allowing it to settle and appropriately adding some water, stirring it, but ultimately letting it sit to transform. And the fixed water and earth energies have a lot to do with this transformation and gestation and the alchemy that comes when we allow something to change form. And this is within the realm of earth and water. And so to some degree, we want to invite in this composting into our internal landscape as well as around us. Where can we gather the things that have fallen away this year, the things that have, we've tossed away, we haven't used? Where can we gather them and stir them and let them sit in the dark and become something fertile, something powerful, something with potential, that when we put those seeds in at solstice, they are given the best chance to bloom. So I hope you have laid yourself down with decadence and support, feeling completely comfortable as you scan your body, as you scan your space, just noticing, is the temperature pleasing? Is the smells around you comfortable? The sound? Swallow and feel the taste of the mouth. Just allow your senses to bring you deeper into this practice right now. Really feeling this moment with your body in the room that you've carved out for this practice, and making sure you feel as comfortable as possible so that we can drop into this stillness for this internal composting Nidra. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill your body up. Slight pause at the top as you let your belly and your chest expand. And then exhale out the mouth with a sigh or a hum. And completely empty out and hold at the bottom. And then again, take a breath in, fill the body up. Fill the body, pause gently at the top. And then open mouth with a sound, everything out. And then we hold at the bottom, gentle hold. One more time, big breath in, fill everything up. Belly and chest expand, pause. And then open mouth, sigh, hum, exhale into emptiness and hold. And hold, and hold maybe a beat longer. And then let it go. Let the breath be effortless. Bring your attention to the space between the eyebrows. We set the intention that we are practicing Yoga Nidra, the practice beginning now, as we place our Sankalpa at the Chittakash, the third eye center. And we invoke this quality of transformation. I am transforming. I invite transformation. I welcome the transformation needed at this time for my highest purpose, or anything like that. And if you are working with a Sankalpa, or there's just a feeling you want to invoke, this is always your practice. And then let it go and travel into the heart and feel the heart center. Can you sense the beating of your heart? Just be with your heart for a moment. And then imagine a thread, a fine thread, shimmering thread dropping from your heart down your belly into the space below the belly button. This is the sacral center. This is the water chakra, the space of the low belly. This is where we find that current of fluid within the body. And again, for a moment, just hold your attention here in the low belly, sensing the emotional, creative, fertile center of the body. And as you feel into the water space, you might even imagine here a cauldron filled with clean water, ready to be transformed, ready to be poured into the soil. And call in the waters of the body, the waters of healing and cleansing and transformation. Feel into this water energy. And then imagine like a little hose, a little tube, the energy from the sacral chakra moving up that thread towards the heart. And feeling the connection here between the heart and the cauldron of the sacrum. And just breathing this sort of cleansing life force through the body. And so this practice of compost, right, is we gather the matter and then we add the water and we stir it around and then we let it sit. And so we'll move now through a body scan through the heart points. And with this connection between the heart and the sacrum, we will allow the water energy to move. So as though you were gently sprinkling water on all the parts we connect with. And as we move through these heart points, we help to release stagnant energy. So we start to pour that water as we circle the energy here. And so as you breathe into your heart, connecting to the heart and the sacral energy, and then we see that tube, that thread, reach up to the third eye. And then it flows back to the connection of the heart and the sacrum. And then it moves up into the right temple, back down through the heart and sacrum, up into the right facial cheek, and then back down to the right shoulder, back down, the right ribs, and down, the right thigh, and back, the right ankle, and back. And for a moment, feel the flow between these points, between the third eye, the right temple, right facial cheek, right shoulder, right ribs, right thigh, right ankle. And then feeling back up into the sacrum, connecting to the heart. And then back down into the left ankle, back to the sacrum and the heart, and to the left thigh, back to the sacrum and the heart, the left ribs, back to the sacrum and the heart, left shoulder, back down, left facial cheek, back down, left temple, back down, and then from the sacrum and the heart straight up to the midbrain, the height of the ears. For a moment, feel this tube, this light as it courses between the midbrain, the heart, and the sacrum, cleansing, transforming. And then feel the connection between the midbrain, the left temple, left cheek, left shoulder, left ribs, left thigh, left ankle. And then back up, sacrum, heart, and midbrain. Back down to the heart, back down to the sacrum. Feel the energy in the sacrum gathering any water from that cauldron. Then again, drawing up through the heart, through the midbrain, to the third eye, and then gently sprinkling it between the third eye and the right temple, right cheek, right shoulder, right ribs, right thigh, right ankle, left thigh, left ribs, left shoulder, left facial cheek, left temple, midbrain, back into the heart, back into the sacrum. And for a moment, can you feel the body scan having brought up the energy in these heart points and having offered this nourishing blend, this fluid to these spaces. And as you focus here at your sacrum, can you have awareness at your sacrum, your belly, and that cauldron? And then as you inhale, feel into the whole body. And then back into the low belly, into the sacrum. Inhale, expanding into the body. exhale back to the cauldron. So again, having added that water, this breath sort of stirring the matter that has come up, the matter that we've offered fluid to, this sacred cauldron nectar to. Inhaling, expand into the body, into all these points, and then back into the sacrum. And just allow the breath to move this way, inhaling out into the body, and then back into the sacrum. And as you inhale and expand out, we are gathering the edges, we are gathering everything that has fallen away, and then we draw it back towards this cauldron. And you can imagine over these last 11 months, what has been forgotten, what has been released, what has been shed. And we gather all of it into that cauldron. Anything stagnant, anything outdated, anything wounded even. We gather it back into this cauldron. As you inhale, breathing out into the body, connecting to the whole body, this whole body awareness, and then back into the cauldron. And then as you feel into the cauldron, into the sacrum, into this water center, continue to breathe here. And as you breathe, just focused on your sacrum, on this inner cauldron. I want you to feel into that quality of water. The water that is deep in the cauldron. What comes up when you invoke water? Feel the sensations of water, the energy of water. What happens for you with this element? And then let it go and consider its opposite, which is earth. And we are made up of earth, just as we are made of water. And for now, we feel into the connection to earth. And then drop back into the cauldron, into the water. And what is it like when we are in deep water, immersed in water? What comes up with this deep water awareness? And then feel back into earth. Maybe sensing the flesh, the bones, the earth around us, the muscles, all the earth, powerful earth. And then drop back into water, into the cauldron. And then imagine sprinkling earth into the cauldron. Again, that natural matter, plants, herbs, and just starting to see the cauldron stir as you offer earth into water. Not too much earth that it soaks up all the water, and not so much water that it engulfs the earth. Just enough that the water absorbs into the earth absorbs the water, and it can stir. Allow your consciousness and your breath to gently stir, sprinkle earth into water, and then let it settle. Settle back into this cauldron of earth and water. And can you imagine yourself in front of this cauldron? And you are standing outside, and it is this time of year, this midpoint between the September equinox and the December solstice. And you are standing outside in a garden. And notice what the garden looks like for you this time of year, this energy. It might be a certain time of day. And you are standing in front of this cauldron that you now see as a compost bin. And it opens to the earth with the opening at the top. And you can set a lid over it. And before you do that, you look around the garden. You notice what the garden is like after these 11 months. Then you look at the compost that you've started, this mixture of water and earth, and you consider if there's anything else you want to add here, anything ready to be transformed. And as you look around the garden, that can be the physical matter in the garden, plants, flowers, herbs, sticks, but it can also be emotional. Again, maybe there are other disappointments or fears or losses that you would like to put into this compost bin. And this is your garden at this time of the year. And this is your opportunity. And so you take some time and you gather and you put it in, and then just keep an eye. Maybe it needs more water. Maybe it needs to be stirred. And you take the time to add earth and water and stir, and then let it sit. And at a certain point, it is time to just let it gestate. And notice what comes up for you with that when it is enough. You've added enough water and enough earth. And now it's time to allow the transformation. You put the lid over the top and you sit in front of it. And you place a hand to heart and a hand to belly, because you know that this compost is you. And that transformation happening within this bin is also happening within you. Anything that has been stripped away or let go of, but maybe still lingering, has the opportunity to transform, to become part of the most fertile soil. All of our losses, our fears, our doubts, our darkness has the opportunity to transform into something of such value, such power, such potency. And can you allow a few moments of stillness, you and this compost, in this cycle, in this season? Nothing more to do, but allow it to sit. Periodically, it might need a little stir or add a tiny bit more earth and water. Ultimately, you can let it sit. You can allow it to change form. And know that as we move closer to the December solstice, it will be ready for planting seeds. And just sit, you and the compost, and the garden of this season, this cycle. And you might even lay down next to it. Place a hand on it or keep the hands on your body. There is power in this gestation. There is power in this stillness. It doesn't mean nothing is happening. It just means it needs time before others can see. Some of the great magic and mysteries happen in the dark, in the space between the equinox and the solstice. We call these the cross-quarter holy days. And this is where we pause and we hold the space. And as you hold this space, you might hear that sankalpa, I am transforming. I invite transformation. I welcome transformation. And allow that to reverberate through you as you continue to rest here a little bit longer. Letting yourself stay in this stillness, this transformational gestation. Can you sense the breath? The breath, this great stirring, churning through us. When we become too stagnant, we can stay still, but the breath will move the water and the earth through us. And so allow your breath to breathe through you. And the image of the garden and the compost and the cauldron dissolves. And again, you're breathing into your low belly. This awareness of the low belly, this connection to our creative, emotional water center. We feel the connection between the belly and the heart as you breathe, inhaling into the belly and into the chest. Always connecting back to the heart. And the link, the tube that reaches back up to the midbrain. Again, just feeling this connection, midbrain, heart, low belly. For a moment, allowing this integration and knowing we'll continue to have this inner compost process with us throughout this month, this next month or so. And honor yourself for taking this time. And the breath can grow deeper. You can invite back any movements, gentle wiggling, stretching. You're also welcome just to stay and rest and be still, or let yourself drift off to sleep. And as much as you can this next month or two, next 6 weeks or so, allow yourself this stillness. Connect with your breath, connect with your emotions, that inner water and earth. But this is such a powerful time to be still and compost the past year. To turn it into fertile soil for whatever lies ahead. If you're moving forward in your day, you can roll to one side or lift up. Otherwise, you might just take another big inhale and sigh it out. I offer so much gratitude for spending this time with me. Wishing you many blessings in this month ahead. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.